Paris, a haven for lovers and artists. Its magnificent architecture, art, and culture are appreciated by many all over the world. What most people don't know is that beneath Paris's trademark glamour are underground tunnels that reek of death. Catacombs of Paris, or Paris Catacombs, are underground ossuaries that hold the remains of more than 6 million people. Sounds scary? The catacombs have always been a popular place for adventurers. For passionate travelers, it's not frightening at all. It's the most intriguing and attractive part of Paris. We all know that under the passages lie innumerable corpses in pitch-black darkness, but curious explorers always wonder if something else lies within. Usually, explorers find nothing but fun and excitement. However, sometime in the 1990s, a lucky group of cataphiles found something more interesting while traversing the dark tunnels. They found an abandoned camera on the ground, and there was no sign of the owner around. No stranded individual, nor a dead body beside it. The term cataphiles, by the way, refers to urban explorers who illegally tour the mines of Paris. The catacombs are actually just a small part of the vast subterranean mines beneath the City of Light. Most people make the mistake of referring to the entire network of tunnels as Paris Catacombs, but most of the underground passageways extending over 186 miles aren't burial places. The mysterious camcorder soon fell into the hands of freelance filmmaker Friedland, and in 2000, the recovered footage was featured in an ABC Family show called Scariest Places on Earth. Friedland claims that the raw footage is more than 40 minutes long, but only around a minute is available today for online viewing. It has been baffling and terrifying people for many years now. See for yourself. It appears to have been taken by a man touring the catacombs alone and eventually got lost along the way. Nothing seemed unusual at first. It was just a normal excursion footage taken in black and white. Friedland said that these nothing out of the ordinary scenes went on for around 40 minutes until the man started to panic. Unfortunately, there is no way for us to scrutinize the events leading to that moment of fright. We don't have access to the entire footage. What we can find online today is very short, but it's clear that something horrifying happened to him. A sudden, distressing situation that caused an unexpected panic attack. He started walking at a much faster pace. It seemed like someone or something was chasing him. Eventually, he dropped the camera, and it just kept on rolling until it ran out of battery. We can clearly see his feet on the 56th second, running for his life and abandoning the camcorder. It's a bizarre incident, a chilling, distressing footage that you would still watch over and over again. There is fear. There is worry. There are questions. Is the video real? Who is this man? What happened to him? To answer the first question, some people do believe that this is a hoax. Just like any other rare, weird find, it is not without skeptics. They say that it was made up by either Friedland himself or by the freeform, then called ABC Family. Some viewers even noted the similarity between the hands of the man in the video and that of Friedland's. They believe that they are one and the same. Moreover, the Scariest Places on Earth episode, where the Lost Man video was featured, aired around a year after the release of the blockbuster horror film The Blair Witch Project. There has been a lot of hype around the movie, and some believe that they were trying to take advantage of the extensive publicity. For those who haven't seen The Blair Witch Project, it's about 3 students who set out to create a documentary about a local legend known as the Blair Witch. The 3 student filmmakers in the movie disappear, but their videos and equipment are discovered a year later. Also, in the film, an unseen force attacks Heather Donahue's character, causing her to drop the camera. The similarities cannot be denied. However, the theory that Friedland is making it all up is questionable. He has been keeping a low profile since the video was released. He did make a few appearances to share his discovery, but that's it. The most recent project indicated in his IMDB page took place years ago in 2003. IMDB is a popular social platform for directors, actors, producers, and other media professionals. Freelancers like Friedland make the most out of this platform to connect with other filmmakers and widen the network. If he worked on something big, he would certainly update his profile, but there is nothing on it. No big money, No project. It's doubtful that he profited from the footage. This strange video delivers a myriad of possibilities. Let's not turn our backs on them. Now we move forward to the identity of the man. There aren't a lot of sources online, but some say that the camera wasn't turned over to the authorities. Thus, the case wasn't investigated and not connected to any missing person report. The video was featured several times on different shows too, after the Scariest Places on Earth appearance, but no one came forward. What if he ventured into the tunnels alone, illegally, without telling any friend or family member? Then something went wrong, and he got lost in there forever. Now, that is a tragedy. Here comes the most gripping part. What really happened to him? Was something chasing him? There are three possibilities. The first one, he just got lost along the way, ran out of food and water, and died. In the footage, there is no graffiti on the walls, meaning he really did reach the deeper parts of the tunnels. It's noteworthy that the Paris catacombs are home to captivating works of art. Apart from the walls adorned by femurs, tibias, and skulls, heavily graffitied walls are distinguished parts of the Paris catacombs image. Bones. Graffitis. That area is far too dangerous for one person to explore. There are uneven, unstable terrains concealed by muddy water. If you are not cautious enough, you can easily break your leg. If you get stuck for too long, you can get hypothermia. In 2017, 2 teenagers were rescued after getting lost in the passageways. Whether why they got lost or how they called for help is not known. They were immediately treated for hypothermia after being rescued in the early hours of the morning. The average temperature in the narrow tunnels is around 59 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius. The unknown man may have succumbed to the cold underneath. It can be difficult to survive, even with food. With water and a few cookies, he may survive for quite a while, but it's still impossible for him to last long. A human can go without food for around 3 weeks. Without water, a person may only last 3 to 4 days. With fear and panic engulfing you while you are stranded in a pitch-black tunnel, will you be able to eat? A flashlight, if he had one with him, would have easily run out of power. Just the thought of him screaming at the top of his lungs in darkness and getting no response is a nightmare. That is why cataphiles and other explorers recommend traveling in groups. When you have companions, you can share the responsibility of bringing all the important things, from flashlights and lamps to food and extra clothing. If someone falls and gets hurt, you can all work together to call for help. But this man is all alone. When he entered the passageways, he may not be aware that he is claustrophobic. At first, he seemed to love the experience, but as he traveled further and further, panic and distress likely started to set in. Terror and confusion caused him to believe that someone or something was after him, so he started to run deeper and deeper until he got lost in the tunnels. If the man really died, that's no longer a surprise. This is not the first death to happen in the catacombs. In 1793, Philibert Asper, a doorkeeper who worked at the Val-de-Grâce military hospital during the French Revolution, suddenly went missing. His disappearance went unsolved for quite some time, until 11 years later, his body was found in the catacombs. They were able to identify him through the keyring and buttons on his jacket. Then, he was buried right where he was found. It was said that he was on a mission to get some liquor from the cellar, but lost his way. Instead of the cellar, he ended up in the catacombs. When his candle blew out, he got stuck forever in darkness. Today, his burial place, located in the restricted parts of the catacombs, serves as a meeting place for cataphiles. Let's just hope that someday, like Asper, the body of our lost man will be found and identified. Moving forward, it's also likely that the unknown man found his way out soon after dropping his camera. Maybe he panicked, lost his camcorder, but eventually found the right way out. As simple as that. A happy ending. Right now, he's alive and well somewhere in the world. Why didn't he come forward after the television features were aired? Hasn't seen them. Not all people watch TV or spend countless hours on the internet. Maybe he is a foreigner who has since changed interests and is now taking on a whole new different career, far from that of exploring deep underground passageways. Since the lost camcorder wasn't turned over to the authorities, News outlets didn't pick up the case. He wouldn't be aware of it unless he researched specifically on events associated with the Paris catacombs. That he wouldn't do, of course, if he is no longer into those kinds of exploration projects. It's possible too that he knows about his camera being found, but just refuses to come forward. For sure, he has his reasons. The third and most spine-chilling possibility: he may have encountered a supernatural force below ground. He was frightened and running. It can be just a panic attack or an irrational fear, but it can also be something else. We can only guess, since he obviously didn't think of pointing the lens to whatever that was. Those who have created the catacombs called it the gate to hell. Is it possible that this unknown individual found it by accident? Non-believers would say that there is nothing else in the Paris mines and catacombs. Those are just bones, corpses, and graffitis. Truth is, we don't really know what else is there. What we see, the areas we are allowed to visit, are just the tip of the menacing underground iceberg. Let's dig deeper to know and understand better. The Paris catacombs history, though, is not for the faint-hearted. The catacombs were established in the 18th century to help alleviate the city's cemetery overcrowding problem. When Parisian cemeteries like Cimetière des Saints Innocents became overpopulated, authorities knew they needed to act immediately. They realized that decomposing bodies in the city's cemeteries weren't good for the public's health. Thus, millions of corpses were moved from the cemetery grounds to these subterranean limestone passageways. In 1809, the Paris catacombs were officially open to the public. It wasn't until 1955 that most of the tunnels have been off-limits to legal visits. The mines of Paris may seem like an endless, unexplorable maze, but it is fully mapped both by the government and cataphiles. Inspection Générale des Carrières, ICG, even exists to do all the legal mapping and ensure the safety of the new constructions by tracking soil stability.